track 1 for the rhythm guitar is done. I will do the overdubs now. Unusually I'm using, I just I just choked with water. I'm using the 335 just because it has original PAF pickups, unpotted or unwaxed. They feedback really bad, but they sound really good, and it's rock and roll. Now I have a fucking hair in my eye. I switched the amps. I used the Les Paul over the TSL, straight into the amp, no pedals for the rhythm guitars. Now I'm using the 335 into the Jubilee, same thing, crunch channel, no pedals, and let's go. I have my charts on the floor. I wrote the song, it has 3 chords, but I still need to read because there's some changes. Here we go. By the way, I usually have a little case on the floor because I like to have my leg a little bit higher, kind of a classical position. My case is right there, so I just had a wah paddle on the floor. It's not connected. I'm just using as like something to, you know, rest my foot. So if you hear like it's not being used, it's just something to help me be in a more comfortable position. I keep looking at myself here, but I know you guys are there. Let's go. Turn. Down Canyon. So that's it. Rhythm guitar done, one take. A few hiccups there, but it's rock and roll. I think the little mistakes is what makes everything special. nothing that really bothers me. The Jubilee has a lot more bass. I can take this off now. A lot more mids, a lot more highs. That it's a completely different sound as opposed to the TSL. They're both great sounding amps once you reach to a certain level. You don't need pedals to achieve some kind of distortion. For the kind of music, fuck. For the kind of music I'm recording right now, which is very inspired by, you know, the hard rock in the 80s and some of the bands that I grew up listening to. So we're going for some other overdubs right now. Since it's the 80s, I will try to use a talk box on some parts to do some little accents and ideas. I think it's reminiscent from all of the hard rock bands that I've been listening to for my whole life. And let's see how it goes. So I'm about to record a talk box right now, but before, let me show you what is a talk box. It's nothing but a paddle, which is not really a paddle. It's an amplifier with a built-in distortion, and inside this enclosure you have a little speaker. So as you're playing guitar straight into the talk box, as you're playing, the sound will come out of this little hole. Let me show you. I did a video recently or a while ago about how you can use your cell phone as a talk box and record if you don't have one. These are going pretty cheap after COVID because nobody wants to. I'm just kidding. The tube is just a regular tube. It attaches here, so you can have the sound traveling through the tube because it makes it more practical, right? Don't share your tube. So as you're playing, now the sound is coming from here, right? I don't know if you guys can hear that. The best way to capture this sound, because you don't have a lot of volume, if you have too much, you feel your teeth like shaking a little bit. Nothing wrong with that. But the best way to record this sound is to use it close to a microphone, so you can amplify that sound that is coming through your mouth. So this is the talk box. Let's record. Alright, so I'm set up now. Guitar into the talk box. The tube is going here. I have this little Velcro attachment, so I don't need to be using, you know, duct tape, because over time it gets all gooey. Microphone going in straight to the 1073 preamp, 1176 compressor, fat compressor, LA2A tube compressor, and the EPQ1 Pultec style tube EQ into Cubase. So I did a drop D tuning. I did a drop D tuning because I want to double the little phrase that it happens with the main rhythm guitars. So I think it would sound a little more connected. So let's go. Just a quick detail, most of the time when I'm recording the talk box, you know, because your guitar sound, it's coming from this little tube. It doesn't matter how much you try to create that low end, you never get like a really full sound. It's more of an effect than a guitar tone. And as much as I love it, I always feel like I need a little more hump. So usually what I do is I use like an ABY or a tuner or a chorus, whatever, I can split the signal. So I send one side of the guitar to the talk box to record, and then I get the other side going into the amp and just treating like a rhythm guitar or a lead guitar sound. And then when I'm mixing, I can blend those two sounds together, the direct sound with the full amp, with the full frequencies, and a talk box with, you know, the kind of effect, that the kind of filter that it does. I'm not doing that right now. I'm just going straight into the talk box. It's such a minor part, so I didn't want to go into the trouble of, like, you know, uh, having to split the signal and do everything. I'm just taking the cable. I'm just taking the cable from the microphone that it's in a cabinet, putting in here, and recording. So, okay, now we go.